Alright guys, what's up? Jae East here. First interview of the podcast. Figured we'd do it special. Figured I'd get somebody on here that everybody could benefit and learn something from. And that's why I got this guy over here.
Hey.
So, let's start this thing off right. What's your name?
What's good,
Tell the people who you are.
My name's Manny. How long have we been working together now?
A month.
A month. We're working together a month.
We've been working together for a month.
I requested to be on, so in fairness.
And now you're here.
Here we are.
And now you're here. Alright, so tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Like, who are you, Manny? Like,
that's a loaded question, bro. Come on.
I know, it's a loaded question like a loaded gun. Like, hey, listen, so like what is it that you're interested in? What are the things that you like to do in your free time? Like,
okay, cool.
What inspires you? Like, those kinds of things. That's what makes you you. So when I say tell me about yourself, I mean tell me those things. Don't tell me your favorite television show and what you like to eat and like
True.
Tell me, the things that make you you.
I feel like this is like a dating profile. I like long walks to the beach. I mean, I'm a big music guy. I think you've learned that already.
I have.
Yeah.
I think that's why we get along.
Yeah. Big music guy. Huge into photography now. That's like a thing that I've picked up this last year that I've previously been into it. I started to take it more serious this year. If you want to see some of my stuff, SIC.SRT on IG.
There you go.
Shameless plug.
Hey, that's why we're here, right? I'll put that on the screen right there.
I write on my spare time. Do a bunch of yoga, which all of y'all always making fun of me for. And yeah, I don't know, just...
All right, well, there's a lot of things there that you do that I would say are creative things that creatives do. I think everyone is creative in their own way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it sounds like you're super creative. So I know that you said you like music, and I kind of know that you like music. Yeah. So what kind of music do you like? Like what do you listen to for work? What do you listen to in like your free time? Like what gets you going?
I listen to, and this is like a cliche answer, but I listen to everything.
Okay.
Like literally, if you put my phone on shuffle, if you put any of my music on shuffle, you might find yourself anywhere from like Behemoth to Conway Twitty. Like you don't know what you're gonna tap into.
It's just gonna be everything. A little bachata might come on.
Oh yeah, of course. I dance that too.
Hey.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say, like I never realized how much I love music until I started thinking back at it. Like my dad, when I lived in Puerto Rico, I was born and raised in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
When he would come visit, he'd play Phil Collins for me.
Oh, nice.
And Toto and all these other bands that I didn't understand what I was listening to until later on. Like my first real music influence that I picked myself, because it was always introduced by someone else. My brothers all listened to hip hop, reggaeton. Like I lived in Puerto Rico when all of that stuff was happening.
Okay.
When Playero was coming out.
Yeah.
So I was already
2000s.
exposed to that.
Yeah.
I mean, 90s. We're in the 90s. I mean.
Oh, you're talking about like the real reggaeton, like
back.
Ayo guasa.
Nah, before that.
Like, even before that.
Before that.
Mira.
Before that.
Oh, even before that.
Yeah, like
oh my gosh.
we were there. But like the first people that I actually picked myself, because I was exposed to all of this music, Spanish music, you name it.
Yeah.
Was the Fugees. I remember I stumbled upon the Fugees. I heard Lauren's voice over Wyclef and damn, I feel bad for forgetting his name. What was the other dude?
Pras.
Yeah, Pras. I remember them rapping. I'm like, shit. And hearing her. So that was like my first musical influence that I picked. Because everything was sort of picked for me in my environment.
Yeah.
I picked that.
And you know what's kind of crazy about that?
What's that?
We both live in Jersey.
Yeah.
And they're from Jersey.
I know.
Crazy, right?
And you know what's crazy? I didn't realize, because when I moved here from Puerto Rico, I lived in Perth Amboy.
Okay.
So coming to Newark, being around Newark, living so close to it, I never knew that they were from Newark.
Yep, right there.
And
right around the way.
I was just like,
it's like, what? These people I've been listening to, and I thought it's so dope, are from like here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that got it going. Like that started that. And then when I started going to school and, you know, you started interacting with other kids and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't remember which came first. I do remember I had a science teacher named Mr. Nibojeski.
Okay.
And he could never get me to shut up in class. I was a badass kid. I was horrible. I was a horrible student to have. And one day I walked in and he was playing Wherever I May Roam by Metallica.
And it just like...
And I was like, what is that?
It hit your soul.
So then he started playing Metallica during class. He'd play it low. So I would shut up. So, yeah, and I actually passed his class because of that. Like, he would play Metallica and all the other kids would bitch about it, but, like, he would play it because I was his biggest disruption in class.
That's crazy. So he's playing it.
Yeah.
He's playing it knowing that it's going to kind of keep you quiet and kind of keep you motivated and going.
Yep.
And at the same time, without even realizing it, like, this is, like, something that, like, latched onto you for life.
Forever.
Like,
I always remember that. I mean, I remember literally the first time I heard Metallica, like walking into his class. He had a corner classroom on the first floor, and I just walked in, and I was just grabbed by it. Like,
isn't that crazy how life is?
Dope. Then my friend Kathy put me on to Korn, and then I just became like a new metal baby.
And you know that means that he actually didn't think that you were that bad of a student, because if he did, he would have did what some teachers would do. If it's a student that's like really bad like that, sometimes they just kind of give up on them. But he probably saw like, yo, this dude has like some potential in him.
Yeah.
I just kind of got to find a way to get him focused. So he kind of used Metallica to kind of, you know, bring you in, while everybody else is like, why is he playing Metallica? But they don't understand, like, yo, this is actually helping you. Yeah. He's teaching you in a way without having to teach you.
Yeah. And honestly, I never realized how much that would influence me till this day as an adult, because to this day I listen to music while I work. When I write, I listen to music. Pretty much everything I'm doing it with music playing. It helps me focus. It helps me.
Me too.
Kind of remember stuff. I mean, it's like for everything that I do, I could always remember it by either a smell or a picture or music.
A song, yeah.
It's always something was playing when that happened. Always.
That's how you attach and you create the memory. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like I'm big on music, and that's part of the reason why like I gotta hear like some kind of music or something. Yeah. It's funny because some people work better in silence. I kind of work better with music. Like it doesn't even really matter what the music is. You know, obviously it'd be good if it's something good, but you know, as long as it's something that can kind of have my mind thinking about this music attached to the task I'm doing, I can kind of knock it out. Yeah. So, productive. You just said something twice. I don't even know if you really caught you said it. Yeah, you said something twice. You said you write. Because you said it before, and then I heard you say it again because you said you listen to music when you write. What do you write?
I mean, I'm not gonna like. I don't know. I don't know what you would really consider it. I just write when I need to vent, I guess.
Okay.
I just like last couple years started to really turn writing into less of a venting thing and more into a creative thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of my writing was just based on whatever I was going through. I'm not a big person of, you know, talking about everything that I'm going through or experiencing. So writing was that.
It was your release. Yeah. It was like your way of getting it out there without having to actually say it in words.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So if you go, I got drawers full of receipts and Post-its, glue boards. I mean, like, you name it. Just scraps of paper full of writing. Until I finally started to write this one book. I bought it in 2011. I bought a five subject notebook that took me 8 years to finish.
Oh shit.
8 years.
This is dope though.
Because I would write in these little bursts.
Yeah.
You know, so some days I'd bang out 5 pages. There'd be days where I'd bang out 2 lines. And then there was just periods of time that were like months, sometimes a year or two would elapse before I would even look at it. So earlier this year I moved and I finished my book finally, which was good. But like, it's so surreal when you finish something like that because you don't know what to do with it.
Yep.
So I just
because it changed completely from when you began it.
You don't even know what to do with it because it's there. I have it under a chair. I don't look at it. like all of the stuff that I would always write, I would never review it. I'd never try to go back and make corrections or any of that stuff. I'd physically write. I've never been like a typing person. I feel like through my handwriting, if you're reading my book, the way I look at it as sometimes I'll look back and I'll see that I spelled the word wrong, that I started spelling right. Little nonsense like that.
It's like growth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see how your your handwriting has evolved over time.
Yeah.
So I'm not the type to force myself to do stuff. Like if I try to do things when I want to most of the time, at least things like that, I don't force myself to do. So that's why it took me so long.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with something like that, I don't even think it's really about how long it took you. I think it's more so being able to say that you accomplished it. You know? Yeah. Sometimes it takes people 20, 25 years to write like their greatest thing that they're ever going to write. And then they share it with no one. It's not really something that, you write with the purpose of sharing. If you want to share it, you can, but it's more so something that you write, like you said, as a release. Yeah. It's like a way of an expression of getting it out there. And then who knows, maybe a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, you'll go back and look at it and you can see like, yo, look at all the progress that I made just by, being able to read something that you wrote and put yourself back where you were and not necessarily look back on it, but more so analyze it and be able to see how you grew from that to where you are at that point. Yeah. So like that's dope. Like that's amazing. Like
it's an accomplishment.
Writing is great. I like writing. I'm not very diligent about it. Like I probably should write more. Like I used to do like creative writing and those different things in school, but obviously you don't see that I have a career in creative writing. But it's just one of those things. Like it's another one of those creative outlets of being able to express yourself and get something out there. And
it's a good way. Just how like we're into photography, it's a good way to take like a little screenshot of that period of time. Yeah. It's just you grab that little piece and you drop it.
You capture the moment.
Yeah. Like you don't realize. I mean, we've lived through some cool things, like tragic things, whether it be personally in the world. Like who would have thought that within our lifetime we'd see, something like the World Trade Center disaster happen. Yeah. Or all of these things, like even more positive things, like throughout our lifetime we saw a black president. Yeah. Like, we've seen all these different things that we don't really...
It's these milestones that you don't even realize are milestones because they're just happening.
Yeah. But it's crazy. I mean, but we've lived through some cool things. I don't write in a journalism sense. Yeah. So I'm not always writing or worried about writing about current day events. That's not my thing. But it's just an outlet. It's helped me a lot. It's one of those things that's helped me understand me better.
It makes sense. Yeah. Absolutely. It's like you're learning from yourself, which is the best way to learn. Yeah. So you just said something twice again.
I'm on a roll.
You're on a roll, man. I told you coming into this, don't be nervous because it's just gonna kind of go, Yeah. So you brought up photography. So talk to me about photography. Like we just finished doing a couple of shoots. Yep. We just got a couple of shots. Yep. Those will probably be out before this episode airs. Nice. So I'm pretty sure that the people
and if you want to see it, it's at sic.srt on IG, or my man Jae East right here.
That's me.
You can check out his page and my page. You can get 2 for 1.
You could.
And see some great photography.
I'll just have to put that somewhere like there.
I don't know where it goes.
We'll figure out some place to put it. Figure out some place to put the tags. But no, man. So with the photography thing, because we just went, we did a shoot. We got a lot of great shots.
Sure did.
I think it was perfect. Yeah. I think like it came out better than I think we even planned it to really come out.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially for something that we're doing on like a Sunday morning, when really we should probably be like asleep.
Yeah, honestly, right now I'd be home playing PlayStation or something. I mean, I'd just be on my couch right now. If it wasn't
crazy, right?
Yeah, it is.
But I mean, that's the thing. When you love something and you enjoy doing it and you find funny, you get that great energy from it, then you make time for it.
Yeah, for sure.
So we made time for the photography thing. Like I said, those shots are amazing. Yeah. Came out great. Yep. And now you have your camera, and I'm super excited. Yeah. Like I like taking shots, and I like capturing moments, but I also like teaching people and showing people like how I do what I do, like my process. That's why, like, when we were doing it, I was like trying to show you like how I'm getting the shots and everything. You're already kind of picking up on it because you already have the eye, so you're seeing it too. So I'm just super excited because I want to see what your shots are gonna look like now. After everything that we just went through, it's like gonna be another one of those like milestone growth things.
I would say so. I mean, I'm ashamed to say this. I mean, shit, I've owned my camera for like 3 or 4 years, and I still don't fully understand how to work that thing.
Don't even be ashamed, because guess what? There are professional photographers that make a living using their camera, and they still don't know.
That's crazy, and that's crazy to me. I mean,
it's technology. Technology has made it to the point where some people just pick up something and they just point and they shoot, and some people just do that because they just want to have that picture. It's like how we used to have those, you remember the disposable cameras? With the cardboard? And you remember like you go and, we weren't professional photographers, but you take like a bunch of pictures and you're cranking.
That's actually how I started doing photography.
That's how, because that's one of the, I won't say it's one of the purest forms, because obviously the purest would be, going back to the actual, cameras before that, but that's still film. So, I believe that. I 100% believe that. But it's crazy because when you had that camera, did you know how to work it? Yeah, but you didn't really know how to get a great shot. There wasn't anybody explaining it to you. So I wouldn't even be ashamed of owning a camera for 3 or 4 years. I know people, I can tell you for a fact, I know people that own a professional camera, or something that you would consider a professional camera. They've used it maybe once or twice, and they put it down and they never really picked it up again because they never really had time, or let me rephrase, they never prioritized photography to learn how to do it. So I wouldn't even be ashamed about not being able to do it. More so, I would be, if anything, I would be excited, because now you can pick it up, you can play with it, you can do whatever you want to do with it. Like now you kind of have a reason to touch it again. You kind of have a reason to touch that hobby again and kind of get into the whole reason why you liked it to begin with.
No, plus watching you play with the camera and like know what you're doing with it. And seeing the potential of what you could get out of it, because you almost get into this mind frame of like, this shit doesn't work. It's really you, but you're like, this shit doesn't work. Or take a picture with my phone. Even like,
that's what happens though. That's what happens. People go, they buy the camera, they try to use the camera, and it's like, man, like I'm not really getting the shots that I want. And then somebody comes along and they pick up a phone and they go, and they take the picture, and it's like, man, I should just be using my phone. I could have had the picture already in my phone. Could be already had it on the internet right now. What am I doing?
Man. But I tell you what, I mean, I could see, because watching, like, I enjoy the photography process. Is not just like take your phone out, take a picture. Like, even watching you work this morning and you got your equipment and you know what lens to put on and you're doing this and you're doing that, I'm like, that's dope to me. You know what I mean? Like, the entire process of it is so fascinating to me, just watching what goes into making something work. Because like we were talking earlier, anybody can look at a picture, double tap that picture, say, okay, that's a cool picture. But do you know what it took to get that picture?
Do you know what it took to get that picture?
Do you know where, like, I'm throwing terminology out there, but do you know, like, what the f-stop was? Do you know what where the ISO was? Like, so now they got my juices flowing. I'm like, man, it takes so much to create things. But I've always been the type, I like to understand how things work. So watching or being part of the creative product and then seeing the end result of it just makes it that much more gratifying.
What I liken, and I didn't realize this when I was in school, but I realize it now. Remember when we were in school and we used to have like electives, and there were like, different things that you could take or whatever. And I remember there was photography, and I remember there was music, and I remember there was like wood shop, and there was home ec, like, there was, and it never really registered to me, but every single one of those electives, what it was is they were trying to figure out, like, okay, let's pick something that's not necessarily curriculum based, that we can kind of teach you so that you can understand the process of how long of creation and how much work and steps go into making something happen. Because it's the same thing with the home ec. Like those chefs, my girlfriend, she does like catering, and I can tell you, I can cook. Like I can make something to eat to survive. Like I can make something to survive, but I can't make food anywhere near the level that she does, because she's done it so many times. It's like what we were saying, muscle memory. So much repetition, so much time has gone into it, and then when you see her actually making it, it will be like effortless for her. But like you're seeing it, and it's like, whoa, like those are like all the steps. Happened. That's how that sauce got made. That's how that chicken got made. That's how that dish came together. Like, and you're seeing it. Same thing with baking. Same thing with photography. It's everything. Same thing with writing. Because somebody could pick up that book that you were talking about, that you wrote, that took you all that time to write. They don't know how long it took you to write that. They don't know how long it took you to write that. They don't know how much you may have fought with yourself to put certain words down on paper that you may not have wanted to put down. Like, they won't understand that part of it unless they want to understand that part of it.
And I guess that's the hard part of being like a creative type, right? Because if you think about it, like you just said, you took all this time to finish a book, or you took all this time to take a picture. And what it boils down to nowadays, most of the time, is people pretty much liking it or not liking it.
Yep. They pick it up, they go, this is cool, liked it.
Yeah,
gone.
I read it in a day.
Yeah, and then it's like gone. If they even,
yeah. It's kind of weird, but I guess that's why I enjoy the creative process of things, and that's why I try to do things that I love, because if you're doing it for people and you're not doing it for yourself, then it shows, because there's no love involved. So that's why, again, even though, like this morning, all these shots came about because you were taking them. I was driving the car so that you could take the shots, but the entire process is so fun.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching how it's done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm watching you climb this guardrail.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? So I could drive by. Like, that's the stuff that makes it worth it. You know what it took for it to come together. You know what time we woke up. You know what I mean? Like, those are the little things. Yeah, like I'm making coffee at 3:30 in the morning so I could be here. You know what I mean? Like,
and see, I'm glad that you just said that, because you started it off and you said that's the thing that makes it tough for creatives. That's why I said I think everyone's a creative one way or another.
Right.
Because we all do something that requires a massive amount of work and effort and steps. And it's just a matter of, is anyone really going to appreciate it? Is anyone even really going to see it? Is anyone going to notice it? And then the next thing is, if no one sees it and no one appreciates it, do you still have the drive to continue to do it?
Right.
That's where the love of it comes into play.
If you're doing it for the right reason, you continue.
Then you'll continue to do it. Yeah. But if you're doing it to get likes or to get, shares or, to get followers or, I'm just picking those things because that's social media now, and photography, Instagram. That's what people do.
That's sick that SRT.
That's what people do. They sit there and they just put out something because they just want to get likes, and it's like, it's not authentic. It's not you.
It's hard. It's hard to see because like I keep. We were talking about it earlier again. Like I keep joking about like the whole Instagram thing, but sometimes you designate spots, you go out spot hunting, and you go through an actual process to put something together, and whatever you gauge your interaction and your engagement through likes and views and just that sort of thing, and that could be very discouraging because you may not get the exposure that somebody else is getting that's putting something subpar, or they're just putting it out just to put it out, but they have a larger engagement than you do.
Yeah.
So for people that can be very frustrating. But if you're doing it because you love it, then that kind of takes a back seat. So you have to remember why you do things. Because at the end of the day, whether it's social media, whatever it is, you can't do things for approval. You have to do things because they fill you, because they make you happy, because they drive you, they motivate you, they make you better. I guess that's really the point of it.
So it's funny because before, when I started like doing all these videos and the podcasts and all this stuff, I started off, and one of the things I was talking about was growth. And I had this thing called the high five of growth. So it's like the high five of growth. The 5 things that if you actually want to see if you're growing with something, these are like the 5 things you have to grow. And it was physical, meaning you have to physically grow. It was spiritual, meaning you had to spiritually grow in what you were doing. Mentally, you had to grow. Emotionally, you had to grow. And then ethically, you had to grow. And that's like what you're saying. Like, if your ethics behind doing something isn't there, it doesn't matter how hard you push, shove, or it's just not going to be there. That's why, Big Sean, the rapper? All right, so on one of Big Sean's albums, like, there's a part where his dad's talking, and his dad's telling him that life is a feeling process. Because people can feel when you're BSing them. Yeah. Like, people can feel when, like nah, like, you're not being 100 with me. Like, you're not keeping it real. Like, you're BSing me right now. And they can feel it, and it'll turn them off. But if you're just genuinely being you, which is really what everybody should be, just genuinely be you, it shows. And, it might take a while before everybody likes it, because there's a lot of people on this planet, so it's just going to take a while for the people that like it to find it.
You work with me. You know what my personality's like. I'm not for everybody.
Hey, I don't think anybody is for everybody.
Hey, whatever.
There are people out there that they'll like one person, and there are people out there that will dislike the same person.
I'm pretty sure that applicant ain't coming back.
Oh yeah.
Where is this? We'll edit that out.
Maybe. But yeah, man. So you see how I started off this whole thing, and I was asking you to tell me about yourself, and you said it's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question.
You kind of just told me about yourself without even really realizing it. You just kind of broke it down, and the 3 things that you broke it down amongst was your music, your writing, and your photography. But it all comes back to really your work ethic, because it all comes back to how much work you put into it. You said music is how you get your work done. Writing, you had to put in a massive amount of work to get to the point where you finished it. And photography, you're currently putting in the work to get to where you want to go with it.
Yeah. So I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah. That's what it all kind of comes back down to,
That's pretty cool.
And that's what makes you you.
Yeah.
Like, it's how you work.
Yeah.
So the next time somebody asks you that question,
like, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be like, "Oh, I got this in the bag." It's like, you got like 20 minutes to spare.
Well, I tell you what, because that's damn. But it's so good to like refocus all of that, right? Because like you meet new people, right? Whether it be whatever. I've been single now for almost a year, so I gotten on a couple of these stupid apps or whatnot. And you meet people like, "Hi, how's it going? Hey, how are you? What do you do? What do you like?" And like, you have to. I have a extraordinarily hard time connecting with people because I can't seem to break that ice where you're talking about like the core, like the nitty gritty of you.
Yeah.
It never gets to that because it's just kind of like. But then again, I don't know. I feel like most people are concerned with like, what do you do for a living? Where'd you go to school? What do you do for it? Like, it just never gets to that.
What you got to do is when they ask you one of those things, you kind of got to redirect them to where it is that you want to go. So if they ask you, like, what do you do for a living? You could tell them, like, oh, I do this for a living, but I also do these things, as hobbies or whatever, and then kind of open up that door. If they decided they want to come through the door, then you move forward. If they decided they want to shut that door in your face and lock the key and walk away, then it's like, all right, I guess you're not the one.
That part of human engagement is difficult. Very difficult. Because people are satisfied with very little. Yep. And that's...
I like that. That's a good line. I'm going to remember that. People are satisfied with very little.
Yeah, because, I could work with you for the next 5 years and essentially know nothing about you. Yeah. And like, well, Jay's a photographer. I know he does this and he does that, and it just becomes this real shallow thing.
Yeah, it's crazy you say that. You're right.
Because there's people, and it happens. It's happened to me. I mean, there's people that I've been around forever, and what do they know about me? What do I know about them? I feel like people just fail to dig deeper into everything. I mean, in general.
It's crazy you say that because on Friday, that just went by, I just found out that John actually grew up next to the town that I grew up.
Really?
Yeah, like we went to like the same track stuff almost. Like we know the same people. And it's crazy because I was like, I would have never known that. Like, would have never known that. And it all just kind of came about because he asked like, hey, what are you doing this weekend?
Yeah.
And that just kind of led to us having like, you know, that little conversation. It's like, oh man, like I just learned all this stuff about this guy.
By one simple question.
By one question that he asked. If he never asked that question, I would have been perfectly fine just going about my day, just saying, all right, John, have a good one. Yeah, but that's it.
I don't know what it is, man, but like people have really just shut off people.
Yeah.
Like it's just,
I don't know why.
You just
maybe out of fear.
It could be. I think it's that. I could personally, I could speak on that. Like I won't approach somebody that I find attractive just out of like not wanting to bother them, or maybe fearing their reaction to being approached.
Yeah.
You know, so it's easier just to, you know, look and keep it moving. You know, I mean, there's been times where you meet eyes with somebody and you smile at each other and it's like, you know, it feels kind of right. And I'll be the one to just keep it moving and be okay with the fact that that interaction happened. Then I feel like maybe that happens a lot. Like sometimes, actually, as early as Friday, actually, I was on the train and I got my headphones on as usual. And every so often I'll like take a headphone out or I stop playing my music just to like listen to what's around me.
Yeah, listen to life.
Right, and I turn my music off and it's just silence. It's just deafening silence.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's bizarre. All you hear is the train moving.
It's crazy. Same thing. I was. It happens to me on the bus. Like I'll be on the bus or whatever, and if I don't get a seat, I'll be standing in the aisle and I'll be like, you know, listening to music or whatever, and I'll put like my phone in my pocket because I'm always nervous that it might like drop or something, or I might fall, or I might bump into somebody. And I'll look around, and all you see is, just phones, and I'm like, wow, like it's changed so much.
I mean, I'm telling you, within that silence, and I literally smiled, and a lady caught me smiling. She was to my right, and she looked up and saw me smiling, and just looked back down. So, whoever wasn't on their phone was so preoccupied with not making eye contact with anybody else on that train that they were either staring at the ceiling or the floor, or they had their eyes closed. It's like, what are we doing?
I don't know, man. It's just how society is now.
Right, but if you really look at it, because we're a part of it, if we look at it, and you and I were on that same train, right?
Yeah.
And you're standing across from me, let's say, just like there was two other people standing across from me, and I met eyes with you. You know, what would have came out of that? Probably nothing.
Probably nothing.
One of us would have looked away eventually.
Yeah. It would have been awkward. It would have been like,
we would have just had this awkward ass staring contest.
Yeah, it would have been like, why is this guy staring at me?
Right, but see, that's what starts. That's what happens. You automatically, you're like, well, what the fuck are you staring at me, buddy?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? You know, and it turns into that. So, but that's what we've grown accustomed to. It's crazy. It's really weird. It's really, really weird.
But, nah, man. I guess that's why the yoga thing kind of comes to play.
What do you mean?
Well, you said you do yoga and you've done yoga, so you understand the things that you learn in yoga. And I think more people that do that can kind of pick up those same lessons from yoga. You know, kind of being in the moment and being present and you know, being grateful and showing gratitude. And the more that they can pick up those things, you kind of learn a little bit more of fearlessness too. And then in the process of that, you learn how to deal with fear and how, you know, to open up those conversations. Yeah. So that could very well be what, you know, might change it for some people. Yeah. You know, doing yoga or doing some form of mindfulness, you know, whether it's meditation and it gets you in the right mind state that when you see somebody, you say something. You never know. Yeah. You know, different people do different things for different reasons.
Yeah. Yoga's a powerful thing, you know.
Yeah, man.
I grew up in a very machismo environment.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was taught from early that yoga's for women, you know, And
so you weren't doing downward dogs when you were like 15 years old?
No, but I could do one now. But like, I don't know. I can't remember at what point I really stumbled upon it. It might have been like one of those like Sunday morning things that they play on like local TV and stuff, where you got the lady doing yoga by the mountain or something. Like, it might have been one of those. But I'm so grateful that I learned that. I'm so grateful that I'm still learning it, because I mean, it's not just the physical benefit, even though I got a ways to go. But man, the way it helps shift your mentality and put things into perspective is so amazing. I mean, I told you on the way here, my instructor on my very first class says something, which is essentially her mantra. It's like, take the time to show gratitude for the amazing circumstance which allows you to be here at this time. Like, if you encompass all
that's deep, dude.
Everything that's happened throughout your day, your life, this month, led you here.
All here. It all led to this.
Right. So if you practice that every day, no matter where you are, like, I'm here, and it's that whole thing of when people tell you you're here for a reason.
Yeah.
It's essentially telling yourself that throughout your day.
Dude, do you realize that if I didn't buy my camera that we're recording this on right now, and I didn't get into photography, I probably wouldn't have changed jobs. And if I didn't change jobs, I probably would have been at the old company where I was. And if I was still at the old company where I was, if I saw you on the train,
it wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
All of that led to us sitting right now.
Yep.
Having this interview, right? It's like those. It's like those little things that.
That's how it happens. It's all these little tweaks. Like, it's crazy. I don't believe in circumstance. I mean, not circumstance. I'm sorry. I don't believe in coincidences.
Nah, I don't either.
That's bullshit.
I think everything happens for a reason. I think every cause has an effect.
Yeah.
And because you did this is the effect.
Yeah.
I think everyone has a play at one point or another to something that's happened in their life. Yeah. It's just, most people don't want to believe that because that is terrifying to know that you have that much control of your life.
Or do you?
Or do you?
I tell you what, here's the other thing I do believe in. I'm not a huge religious person.
Okay.
I believe in God. I pray. I'm not one to claim a religion or whatnot, but I believe that our stories have been pre-written and we're just playing them out.
There's a lot of people that believe that.
Yeah, I have this strange theory of like, all of this shit that's happening was already written.
Oh yeah,
it was just, you were just plugged into that role.
Yeah, this was your story, and you're going through it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were supposed to learn certain things, and that's the what do they call that? Not divine intervention. That's divine destiny. I think they call it. Yeah, I think that's what they call it. But yeah,
I like how they
got a name for everything.
They have like such a cool name for it, and like meanwhile I'm picturing God playing with like us as G.I. Joes and shit. Like,
oh my God! Thank you for that imagery. Everyone at home is gonna have that great imagery now. Next time they see a G.I. Joe, they're gonna be like, "Hey,
that's me.
That's me." So this is what it must feel like to play God.
Who the hell knows? I mean, who knows?
It's crazy.
I don't know.
But yeah, man. So before I end the interview, I want to say thank you for doing the interview.
Yeah.
You're the first one. So how does that feel?
Feels good.
Feels good, right?
Went by fast.
Yeah, it usually. Chopping it up. When you're chopping it up, it goes by fast. And when you're talking about, things you love and things that you enjoy, then
that's cool.
Time just kind of goes by fast.
Yeah. Well,
see?
Hopefully.
Told you, no reason to be nervous.
No, not at all. Hopefully people get something out of it.
I think everybody will if they want to. They'll get something out of it. If they get nothing out of it, they'll get out of it that you envision God playing with us as G.I. Joes. So.
I mean, listen, man. It's a real thing.
But I'm sure somebody can get something out of it.
Yeah.
That's the other great thing about life, I think everyone's here to kind of contribute somehow. To this society, at least what we're trying to create as a society.
Well, we all do. No matter how small or insignificant your role seems, you have a role.
We all got a role.
There's a Hector Lavoe, it's a salsa singer.
Okay.
He always said, "Cada cabeza es un mundo," which means it directly translates like every head is its own world. But we are essentially our own worlds. Each of us is our own little planet.
I got two things from you. Yeah.
I
got something from it.
Well, they didn't come from me. It came from him. But
I got it from you, though, so I got something from this video.
Yeah. But think about it. I mean, just how we're able to sit here. Think of how many people you pass every day that have so much to say, just like we do.
Yeah.
You know, it's just taking 2 seconds to listen to somebody, 2 seconds anywhere to say hello to somebody. You never know. You got the greatest impact on somebody.
It could be a life-changing moment.
I had a great Sunday, and look, this wouldn't have happened.
I know.
Right?
We got pictures and we got a podcast.
Yeah,
my man.
Appreciate you, man.
Yo,
thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming through. Guys, check him out. I'm going to put all of his stuff here. He's told you a bunch of times in the video, so if you didn't catch it.
If you forgot, let me remind you, it's sic.srt on IG. I am single and available. I'm just kidding. But I am single. Yeah, that was it.
He is, but you get what he's saying. Check him out. Hit him up. Instagram. You got Twitter?
I don't have a Twitter. I just have an Instagram.
Oh.
I keep it simple.
No, that works. It's simple enough. Yeah. So hit him up on Instagram. Say hi, or just look at his pictures, or you can check out the shots that we're gonna get. You can hit me up on Instagram. You know where to find me. JaeEast. Jae East. Google it. I'm sure I'll pop up. You'll see this beautiful face, and you'll figure out who it is. Guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.